establishing soil compaction at very deep levels. Also, the dirt work itself ruins the soil structure, soil texture.
Sorry about that, I had another signal loss.
And it takes 20 to 30 or more years for the soil to return to normal. I've seen this happen many times with Bill Farm terraces. This kind of disturbance also greatly reduces crop yield. Secondly, an oil spill, yes, it will happen. I don't care what they do and what they try to clean it up with, it will never return to the original condition. Groundwater contamination is my greatest fear. The Des Moines, the Raccoon, and all the rivers are the point source of our precious drinking water. An oil leak and moving these water sources would truly be a great, great tragedy. Thank you.
Scott Albertson, 2832 Avenue B, Compton, West Iowa. Good afternoon. I want to thank you first for the opportunity to speak today. I represent Boilermakers Local 83 and am also Vice President of the Omaha and Southwest Iowa Building Trades Council. I am here today to voice my support of this vital infrastructure project. The jobs created by this project are good paying positions with benefits. I urge you to approve this project and put Iowans to work. Thank you. And I must add, I didn't see anybody walking or riding a bicycle to this event today.
Cyclists, please take that as
This
an
agency
insult.
has been entrusted to uphold the laws of the land, and I would like to reiterate George W. Bush's 2006 Executive Order 13-406 that eminent domain must not be granted for the purpose of advancing economic interests of private parties. And it is about economic interest because this company has already negotiated transportation contracts for suppliers. Basically, they put the cart before the horse and then expect Iowans to just hand over the landowner rights. However, it is very interesting to me to note that since they submitted their application to you all and claim that they are self-insured and self-funded company, their value of their company has dropped 37% since the first of the year, and they have been paying their dividends with borrowed money. Kiefer and Associates, author of leak detection study for PHMSA, the federal regulator's pipe, states that the average pipeline has a 57% probability of experiencing major leaks with consequences over 1 million range in a 10-year period. What we need, what our public need is a necessity, and what would benefit the public most, and what science dictates, is that we must at all costs leave the oil in the ground. Eminent domain for corporate gain is a degradation of our constitutional rights and an abomination of our democracy.
Yeah.
Says that we need this for national security. Well, I'm here to call bull crap.
Yeah.
Because that national security issue is capitalism, greed, and ignorance. The Department of Defense in this document right here states that climate change, climate crisis is the greatest threat to our national security and is linked with climate instability, disasters, and water scarcity. Our climate crisis and the devastating effects and concerns for citizens of the United States from infectious disease to loss of food security. What you need to do now is protect your citizens from the abuse of eminent domain, protect landowner rights, and future generations. Deny access.
My name is Juan Villacorta, and my address is 1600 East 153rd Street, Olathe, Kansas. I'm here because I'm going to support the Dakota Access Pipeline, but the main purpose is support my brother and sister laborers, Iowa labor. If the board approves the Dakota Access Pipeline, we can build in the pipeline, or we can do the job right and well. And because we have the best labor training, quality, and I hope we will approve the Dakota pipeline. Thank you. All right.
Good afternoon. I'm Renata Assad from 414 Sunset Road in Waterloo, Iowa. The Buchan Pipeline is a terrible proposition for Iowa. A pipeline carrying daily 570,000 barrels of dirty crude oil across Iowa presents potential for tremendous damage to soil and environment. Iowa has fertile black prairie soil that was created over thousands of years. It will take only one oil pipeline to destroy all this. Construction alone will compact the soil for decades. Restoration will be very difficult. Organic matter will be largely destroyed. Statistics tell us that even well-built pipelines leak and have hazardous spills, destroying the fertile soil for decades, if not forever. Iowa's water and beyond would be poisoned and Iowa's wildlife endangered, and no county would have enough money for the enormous cost of cleanup. Eminent domain should not be invoked for constructing the Buchan Pipeline. Eminent domain can only be used for the good of the public, not for a private company to make billions of dollars. Iowa should protect its private property rights. The pipeline is crossing 4 areas in Iowa that have been designated sovereign lands: Big Sioux River, Big Sioux Wildlife Area, Des Moines River, and Mississippi River. A pipeline for crude oil belongs to the past. Today and in the future, we must engage clean and renewable sources to produce our energy. Geothermal should be used in every new construction, and Iowa has abundant wind and sun, all totally sustainable. Please have the foresight to turn the Buchan Pipeline down. Thank you.
Hello, Tim Strange, Salty, Indiana. A proud member of Labor's Local 204. We wouldn't be here today if we wouldn't support the pipeline. I support the pipeline. I want to make it very clear. Each and every one of us here today, again, do not support it if it wasn't safe and it wasn't environmental friendly. We would not reach for the dollar above that. This is something that we work and strive hard for. Safety, technology has changed. So we're very proud of our craftsmanship. I'll make that very clear. Moving forward, yes, it is going to create thousands of jobs. Short-term jobs. We look at the long-term effect of the short-term jobs, the tax base, the revenue coming into the community. What's that going to do in the future? Is that going to create more jobs, more infrastructure, building infrastructure? So there's a lot of good that's going to come out of this. Great things. Yes, we do have a crisis. The crisis is in the United States of America. Lack of jobs. You see small towns today. There is no small towns. Projects like this can bring small
That
towns
is a
back.
lie.
Bring
There are
our
still
economy back.
thousands
That's
and
what
thousands
we
of
need.
small
We
towns.
need to strive for it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Reuter. I have a house at 2025 Delphine Ames, and I also have a farm and farmstead in Boone County on 220th Street. It's our old family farm. We moved there in 1940. It's 3 years old. I've been doing a lot of conservation work on this farm. Buffer strips, cover crops, and now we're working on a bioreactor to try to clean up all the water. Now, I'm right in the path of this thing. And I should mention, I'm also a professional civil engineer, registered in Iowa and Kansas. And I've worked a little bit in the pipeline area in the area of investigating soils. And I worked around refineries, and they do stink. They are bad. But anyway, I'm opposed to this project, not just because it might ruin the family farm, but because I can't believe that a company who's never built a pipeline with an LLC organization, which you could easily bail out of, could actually build this thing. and that really scares me. And one of the reasons is the question of safety. For example, in Indiana, there's a guy, pipeline inspector, who got caught cheating on welding tests with X-ray. He tried to take one test and apply it for others. Fortunately, he did get caught, but all he got was 40 hours of community service. Now, what about Pacific Gas and Electric out on the West Coast? They took $100,000 of pipeline safety money, and what they did with it was salaries and bonuses. So, I'm not happy at all with the system we had. Some of our recent leaks and explosions, Santa Barbara, California, Texas, nobody really knows what happened. And I think we have a serious problem with this general pipeline industry, and I just ask you to oppose this particular project.
Good afternoon. My name is Pat Leddy, L-E-D-D-Y. My original place in line was 112. Due to some things that are going on back home, I have to get back there, but I'm going in for Terry Langley, number 72. I'm part of an international union, United Association of Journeyman and Apprentice Plumbers, Pipe Fitters, Sprinkler Fitters, HVAC workers, and pipeliners. Pipelines play a vital role in our daily lives. Without pipelines, the majority of the United States would not have access to the sources we rely on for the majority of our energy consumption. This includes the energy we need to create products, power our homes and businesses, travel and drive industrial and manufacturing industries. Pipelines that move products within the United States also enable us to rely less on foreign sources, less reliable, less available, and more expensive sources. Approximately 70% of our oil in our country is shipped by pipeline. More than 2 million miles of pipeline carry oil and natural gas across America every single day. New pipelines are specifically and carefully designed to exceed state and federal regulatory safety standards. The extensive domestic pipeline network is heavily regulated by the U.S. Department of Transportation for both safety and reliability, and is statistically proven to be the safest, most efficient means of transporting energy resources. There are systems of environmental review in place at various levels, and it's important that we let these systems do the job so that we can move critically needed infrastructure forward on a timely basis. There is a reason why environmental reviews and other regulatory mechanisms are in place. UA works closely with the EPA and Department of Transportation when it comes to environmental safety issues associated with the pipelines. UA's international leadership regularly meets with policymakers and leaders from environmental groups like the Sierra Club to talk about pipelines and the role of pipelines even as we transition to a cleaner energy economy. We actually find a lot of common ground with environmental groups when we explain the level of safety.
My name is Donna Root. I live at 2175 Country Lane, southeast Iowa City, Iowa. I am an Iowan by choice, and I'm an elementary school librarian, so I'm going to tell you a story. A friend of mine, Pat, had a lovely home on a tree-filled lot and a garden that grew prize-winning tomatoes. She took good care of her home, made sure the roof didn't leak and the grass was mowed. And Pat was a good neighbor, helping out others when she could. That's the kind of person Pat was. One day, the next-door neighbors, the Dakotas, asked Pat if she would permit them to run a line through her, or pipeline through her yard so they could gain access, otherwise unavailable. They offered her a one-time payment that would allow her to buy a new car. She liked that idea. And they promised to hire her brother-in-law's construction company to build it. She was assured they would maintain the line in good condition, and she would hardly notice it once it was done. And because she was a good neighbor, she said, okay. Well, everything went along fine for a time, just like the Dakotas said, no problems. Then one sad day, the Dakotas lost their house in a foreclosure. No one came around to check the pipeline, and soon Pat began noticing the rabbits in the neighborhood had some strange birth defects. When she went to her basement, something had been oozing through the cinder block walls, and there was a faint odor. Some of her lovely trees were dying. Her garden was just not the same either. Her tomatoes failed to thrive. And Pat had been having headaches. Finally, she had had enough and asked the city inspectors to check things out. Their report was grim. Leaks in the pipeline had damaged her home and land irreversibly. Its value was starkly undermined and would never recover. Worst of all, she would have to give up her garden. Poor Pat. She had wanted to be a good neighbor and help out the Dakotas. She had been excited about the new car, but it had gotten old. She had wanted to provide good jobs for her brother-in-law, but they only lasted a short time. She had believed the Dakotas when they promised to take good care of the pipeline, but they didn't. Now it was too late to go back. Poor Pat.
My name is James Black. I'm from Franklin, Iowa. I'm here today for Steve Senius, Director of the Lee County Economic Development Board. He is not able to attend. The board has approved the following statement we read into the record. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of the Lee County Economic Development Group. Lee County has seen a dramatic economic resurgence in the last few years. The economic downturn hit Lee County hard, and at one point, unemployment was at 11%. However, due to the hard work of our communities and the recent economic investments in agriculture, manufacturing, and other industries, our area is once again thriving. This is why our group is in favor of the proposed pipeline. This pipeline represents more than a way to transport energy products. This is an investment in the state of Iowa and Lake County. With 2,000 to 4,000 jobs in the state, local communities and businesses will see a direct benefit from the construction of the pipeline. However, the benefit goes beyond construction. It is estimated that in its first year of operation, the company will pay about $27 million to the state in property taxes. This money will go to develop our infrastructure and other projects across the state. This pipeline represents an investment in the people and businesses of Iowa. And we have seen what those investments mean for our economic development. We strongly urge you to approve this project. Thank you.
Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Ray Zergabot. Thank you. I'm the chairman of the Utilities Board. Today I'm here to address you, and I'm not going to address you as for or against this. I want to address you right in the middle of this. I love unions. I'm a lifelong member of AFSCME, Iowa. I've worked with unions, been a union member. I am pro clean water. I'm that farm kid that was jumping in the rivers, swimming around. I also had the Alliance pipeline go right through my farm in Scottsdale, Iowa. They did a great job. They maintained it, and they look out for our environment. However, we're speaking of a different dynamic in all of this. What I want to do is to look beyond what happens after the Utilities Board makes this decision. They're going to either say yes, or they're going to say no. If they say yes, what I want to have happen is all these union brothers and sisters come together and support all these people who want a cleaner Iowa. If they say no, I want all my union brothers and sisters to start working with these people who put all their efforts into protecting Iowa's environment and look forward to the years 2040 and the years 2050 that really matter for everyone and our children. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Darlene Nathan, and I live at 2946 Calhoun Avenue. My husband and I own a 120-acre farm in Menlo, and I stand in front of you today in support of the Dakota Access Pipeline. I'm 4.5 miles from an ethanol plant with railroad access. I'm 20 miles east of a wind farm, and the changes I have seen in my lifetime have far surpassed anything I ever imagined. The accidents and disasters I have seen by air, by railroad transport, on our highways, and by our waterways has influenced my support of this pipeline.
I do not believe any of the above-mentioned transports will be affected because of our dependence on crude oil. To know that this pipeline, if approved, will be built and monitored by union workers increases my belief that it will be done safely and maintained properly. I understand the stance of some of the landowners when it comes to concerns of their land and their voice. All of us in this room today have seen progress move forward. So I believe that no matter what side you stand on, the Dakota Access Pipeline, if approved, will be built safely and monitored well. This is not only our future, but the future of our children and grandchildren, and I truly feel that more now than ever, we need to keep things in America built by Americans, now and for generations to come. I truly put my confidence in this country, not others. So I hope all my brothers and sisters behind me stand with me in support of the Dakota Access Pipeline. At this time, I would request that those individuals numbered 80 through 89 approach the staging area. You may begin.
Thank you. My name is Caroline Hughlin H. Walker from Des Moines, Iowa. I am number 101. I was asked by Matt Oha of Des Moines to be 75. He had to be